It's like that old saying, life is short, so decorate your space like a queue line at Disneyland. Boring! Hello. Now that the F5 tornado that is October is over, is that actually that bad of a tornado? Speaking of things that I do not know about, F5, baby. I'm basically a meteorologist. Now that October is over, I'm finally able to work on my studio. I am a Taurus, and if I don't surround myself with whimsical environments, I will die. As much as I love how this barn is already, I want to make it even more full of whimsy. I want it to look like a movie set or a theater set. We have a week. I am going to try to make this what I have in my head, which is...
My general idea for this is abandoned fairytale cottage, so first thing we're gonna do, add some beams. Next up, add a faux stone wall. And then because I basically want this to border on the line of The Last of Us, I'm gonna add a branch that looks like it's coming in through the wall and add some leaves on there, because why not? Lastly, just gonna darken up the wainscoting. Basically, if Snow White left her cottage abandoned for about 40 years.
Now, as you can see, we basically have a pretty blank canvas here. I will probably focus on this side of the barn for this week and then slowly chip away at the rest of it. Well, we should probably just get started. First things first, in typical me fashion, I painted this entire barn, and it was not until I completely finished that I realized that I hated the color. First step is repainting that. And to do that, I will need supplies. I've got my paint, and I've got a few other things that I'm going to experiment with. A lot of this will be a journey of knowledge and failure. Are you ready? Me too. So as much fun as this outfit is, it will not do. That's better. I'm going to use like an off-white. Instead of this weird beigey tan color that I opted for, I have some choice words for past Rachel. I think it'll really brighten it up in here because it is pretty dark. And if you look at sort of my inspiration photos, you know, all the cottages are kind of those light colors with the wood accents. So that is what we're gonna do. Once that is underway, I'm gonna try to figure out the beams situation. I do have a video on how I did beams with foam. I could leave it like that. It's modern art. But that is kind of a lot of work, and there is kind of a lot of wall here. I do have a couple more ideas which we could flirt with, but you know, we're going to get to painting, which is very exciting content, so brace thyself! The acoustics in here though.
So I got to work, and of course I gave a hearty guffaw to a paint roller and decided to do sort of this textured lime wash X motion. I feel like it just makes it look a little bit more old-timey.
"75 years later."
Hello again. Initially, I started off with just this wall and vowed to stop there as to not take up my whole day. Did I stop there? No. I did the whole barn, but it actually didn't take that long. It's only like 2 o'clock, so not too bad. My wrists, though, feel like actual fettuccine. I'm just gonna be jacked just solely on my wrists. So we've got this wall. That was the original color. That's where the stone, faux stone, is gonna go. So I figured I don't really have to paint that. And then all over here. I like it for the most part. For some reason, I always tend to avoid white walls because it feels unfinished to me. These walls were pretty much white when I moved in, that it somehow feels like a step backwards to repaint them white. With the faux beams, that it's gonna look really, really cool. Really, really cool. With that being mentioned, experimenting a little bit with the beam situation. My friends, I am an absolute harlot when it comes to exposed beams. I did consult with Nick what he thinks about taking the beams that are in our garage and just sort of filleting them and then putting them up against the wall.
Oh, it's not that scary.
It is.
Nice butt. It's covered in paint.
What?
Other side.
Ow!
Watch out, there's a nail in that one. I don't know. I don't know how much of that we have. Is that? Oh yeah, there's a bunch of that up there.
Would it be feasible to cut it in half? Like fillet it?
I guess we could do that. What's wrong with how they are?
They're just thick. I don't know if that's a possibility. We'll find out. In case it is not. Here I have styrofoam that I have been sort of stockpiling up in the attic because I hate throwing it away. Like there's gotta be some crafting purposes to it. So if I know next to nothing about making faux beams out of styrofoam, which is the case in this situation, I'm gonna see if I can cover it in some sort of epoxy or putty and see if I can carve into that. At the hardware store, I picked up Durham's water putty, rock hard. Ugh. Indispensable to woodworkers, electricians, carpenters, housewives. What the f? I don't know. Apparently this is a relic from the 1950s. It's for repairing furniture, patching things, filling knot holes, molds strong figurines. Mix 3 parts powder to 1 part water. Attempt to put this on here. Don't know if that's gonna work. So yeah, let's give it a go.
No, it wasn't long before I realized that cutting styrofoam was actual hell on earth.
Oh no. Looks like a snowman's about to ask me if I'm married. Okay.
This was about the exact moment I realized that my potential career as a chemist was truly shot.
Okay, so this is purely experimental, but that's not too bad. So that would definitely be a bit cheaper than what I usually do. I think I'm gonna try this on a couple more. Lots of prep work. And then tomorrow we can get into it. Okay, wish me luck. Good morning. Day 2. I have the putty boards here. Shing, ta-da! It's pretty firm as coated styrofoam can be. If you press too hard, styrofoam underneath kind of gives way. This is very delicate, definitely not meant for excess caressing of any kind. Pretty cool. I mean, it looks like wood. It's not perfect though. I mean, there's like little bits of styrofoam balls in there. Nick and I also today are going to venture into filleting the real wood. Obviously using real wood. How many lows could a Rob Lowe rob if a Rob Lowe could rob lows? Real wood would be preferable in this situation, obviously. All right, let's get to work. I'm starting to think my channel should be called 100 Ways You Can Fake Wood. This isn't too bad. It's not my favorite. This did not come out quite as well, but it's good to have this as a backup.
Then it was time to put our collective 3 brain cells together to figure out the beam placement.
Beam here. Cross braces.
But it's so centralized. That's weird.
As going into the ceiling like that doesn't make a lot of sense.
It does. H.
You won't look like an H. So we need both saws.
As always, I am an integral part of any construction team.
That's as tall as my saw is.
So after gracefully accepting that this was going to be a failure, we decided full beams it was. But not before I tipped over a water bottle and released a demon.
I don't understand why my water falling on the ground started that going.
I mean, the other night I was in here and that happened.
But of course we did not let the fact that we may have an audiophile barn ghost stop us from all the hard work that needed to be done. And while the editing process made this look a little bit easier than it was, we did end up going out to the hardware store about 3 separate times for the proper fittings and drywall anchors.
Look at this. I think that's cool.
After finagling a little bit, we got a fit that was good enough to release my inner Australian.
Nice.
After securing all of the beams, Nick had the brilliant idea of slicing off these little dowel ends and sticking them on the screws to make it look like little pegs sticking out of the beams to make it look a little bit more historic.
Right, so remember how I painted my whole barn? Well, now I'm gonna repaint it. So basically, I'm not a huge fan of the white that I used. Number one, an eggshell satin, so it's really shiny. And number two, because it's like a cool white, which coincidentally is not a term I've ever used to describe myself. Who knew there were so many gosh darn shades of white paint, but there are. I mean, yeah, of course you can't really tell, but trust me, it is. So what I've been doing is going in and adding a little bit of lime wash with my lime wash paint. It's really quite simple. I'm just going in and going over every single stinking wall that I painted yesterday in little X's. Pretty sure by the end of this, I should sign up for national wrist-specific bodybuilding championships. Maybe even international, but we'll see how we're feeling. Slapping it on there. Dull the walls, make them not so shiny, and giving that sort of limey, almost plastery kind of feel. Let's paint these X's. Okay. Oh, 'tis done. So I am going to play some video games, and we'll see you bright and early. Till then. Good morrow to you on day 3. We are going to tackle the faux stone wall, and as usual, I am incredibly overwhelmed, but I find that it's best to just yeet myself headfirst into these kinds of things. I've got the stone panels here. Hello? Wow, that was an unnecessarily large box for this. These are faux. They kind of remind me of like plates that you would buy at It's a Party. But honestly, I mean, they could be worse. I think the actual stone part is pretty cute. The grout print is kind of silly. I'm gonna be covering that with spackling, a la the blog post that I fought some advertisements to be able to read. It's super thin, so it's easy to cut. Hopefully won't be too hard to adhere it to the wall. But as far as connecting, I think they just connect on top and bottom. Oh, nice. Okay, so, I know what you're thinking. This is pretty efficient where it's really not that warm here, only in front. So I think these should be fine. It said they're heat proof anyway. Yep, okay. I hope I have enough. I had Nick show me how to set this up, so just call me Macaulay Culkin.
After establishing my new nom de plume, I began the surprisingly unsatisfying process of trimming this panel. And because I do not want to be misunderstood and demonetized, I will call this the goop. So following the fake grout lines, I put the goop on it, also on the wall, and just smushed them together. And it was pretty much as easy as that. To my absolute surprise, my measurements were not too far off, which I deemed pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good. Not so funny story, and not surprising in the least bit, I did not order enough. And I just checked, and they are out of stock, and the ones I could find wouldn't be here till end of December. So, I have 2 left, so 1 and then 1 more up here. So I guess we're just gonna have to get creative here. Sort of angle it so it looks purposeful, and then a tiny bit scrap over there. Cut out those individual rocks and stick them on top and make it look like it's on purpose. Add our foliage here to distract away from the fact that I don't have enough. It is what it is, friends. Ah! Frick. All right, let's give it a shot, shall we?
After completing a mosaic that would truly make medieval artisans weep with jealousy, it was time to get started on the branch.
Okay, so all that needs time to set, and it's looking like a hot mess right now. But for now, I'm gonna move on to the branch and foliage situation. Yet again, this is completely a hypothesis. Box of garbage. All of the bubble wrap and such from moving, which was like a year ago. I have already made a styrofoam dress out of this nonsense. I truly don't like throwing things away that are bad for the environment. My thoughts is take the bubble wrap, twist it, take some masking tape, wrap it up so that it's sort of in an organic shape. I just bought this wood putty or something. It's a little complicated. It's like a 2-part system. We're gonna worry about that when we get there. But for now, I'm gonna try to make branches. Okay. Just sort of. God, I hate tape. Why? What the f am I doing? Oh no. Is that a dead bug? Ew. Hold it in between my legs here. Yes. Yes. Ew. Ooh. By God, I think we've done it. It's not very pretty. Kind of looks like a salamander tail, but kind of like form it, and then I'll add like little branches off of this. Huh? Main branch that looks like it's coming out of the wall. Yes! Let's just keep going. Excuse me while I just say, yo! This came out so cool! The branches are a wee bit straight right now, but I'm thinking when I use the putty, I can sort of curve them a little bit more. And with all the leaves and the foliage on top, I don't know how much you're actually even gonna see, but it's nice to have like a good base, and then that up there will be coming out of the wall. I am going to attempt to figure out how the heck to do the putty. Okay. Oh, it smells so bad. I was just about to say this makes me want one of those hoodsy cups real bad. Oh, not anymore. And then smash. Why does it smell like that? Jesus. Crumbly. Ah. Nice beige. It's kind of fun. All right, well, let's continue. All right, there she is so far. I am pretty excited, not gonna lie. A whole container. I have another one just in case, but I didn't need it. It was a little hard to adhere it to the tape because it's not a stickable material and it was pretty smooth. So it took a little bit extra finessing to get it to actually stick. And I'm hoping that means that it doesn't just like peel off when I go to actually move this. We'll find out. So this says it takes like 4 hours to set. I'm just gonna leave it overnight. That's setting. The stones are setting up on the wall. Tomorrow we can have a lot of fun with like painting and spackling and all that good stuff. I shall see you then. The final day. It's freaking cold out. I have nestled into my resting state, which is
Grandpa.
the plan for today. Finishing everything up. And that includes cleaning everything up, painting. I'm going to attempt to paint this ugly orange pine. Probably not the smartest decision. I think, you know, I should probably just sand it down and restain it, but oh, there's a lot of it and I don't have that time. I'm just gonna paint it for now because I hate it. Orange pine will be the death of me. Before that though, I am going to start spackling the rock wall, and then we need to figure out the branch situation, which looks pretty freaking cool. Look at that. Huh? Very sturdy. Also very stuck. Okay, but I don't think it's gonna be all that heavy, which is good because I have next to no idea how to attach this to the wall. Basically, the lighter the better because I don't know what I'm doing. So, am I truly out of shape from literally just standing up from a squat? You betcha. Spackling. Just a white spackle, but I don't really want it to be white. I don't know if this is a thing I can do, but I might put some of this in a container, mix it with a whisper of brown paint. I just got this for the wainscoting. I told you it's a journey of knowledge and exploration. Thanks for being here. It's not exactly a clean container, but that'll do, pig. Oh yeah. Do a doll with Daisy. Just, and then mix. Ugh. Oh, too much brown. Oh, this makes me want some ice cream real bad. Oh, well, let's give it a shot. Oh my God. Here goes nothing. Very accurate. A little bit of water. Oh, geez. That's pretty nasty. Oh, look at me. I'm a frickin' mason. Okay. Do I like the brown? Generally, I like it, but I'm not sure how I feel about the brown. Add just a tiny bit of black in my mixture and that will desaturate it into more of like a gray brown. I think that's the ticket. Let's do that.
Eventually my brain did kick in and I switched over to a throwaway brush for a little bit more accuracy, and it led to a lot less cleanup that I had to do.
Okay, we have one side done. There she is. Fills in sort of all the weird janky parts that I had to do. So now I just have to do that side. Well, let's go.
I also threw some of this spackle concoction onto my tree branch because I liked sort of the bark texture that it gave. After smacking some brown paint onto the branch, it was time to hang it, which was a true test of my marriage.
Tell me.
Yeah, I don't think we should drill anything through it. We just hang it on nails. So like one here, here, here.
We should put something through
Look, if I...
Beautiful. Good morning. Here I am, gluing fake plants to my wall with moderate success. It's like that old saying, life is short, so decorate your space like a queue line at Disneyland. Yeah, well, this might just be a looked better in my head situation, but I mean, whatever, I'm just gonna keep going with it. So I bought a bunch of artificial plants from nearlynatural.com. Thinking that they would be a little bit more high quality than something you could get at Michael's. I was wrong. I could probably just get this stuff at Michael's. So if you don't know, now you know. I just spent so long searching for my mic because I couldn't remember where I put it. Booby pocket. Going in clutch. Ta-da! I'm not gonna say it's done, but as far as this week's progress, it's there. I foresee this being very much an ongoing project. Of course, I'm not gonna get everything I wanna get done in 4 days. That's just not physically possible. This isn't bad for 4 days of work. I'm just gonna chip away at projects. As time goes on, I want to add a ton more beams in here. I probably won't do real wood again. Number one, because we ran out of this old wood that was in the barn. And number two, I don't know, I like how it looks, but I also feel like it looks too clean and too uniform and too geometric. When you look at old cottages, they're warped, they're wonky, they're natural. I will probably go back to my foam method or figure out some way to use that putty. We still have all of this situation just bare. I do want to add more beams, trim out the windows over here too. Obviously not the end of my work for this barn. I think this is a really good start. I might go in, purchase a wood carver of some kind and kind of chip away at it to make it look a little bit more imperfect. I don't know. Really, really like the rock wall. I think it looks really stinking cute and you would never know that I royally messed up and ran out. I think the branch looks really cute. I'm probably gonna add a painted hole up there and cracks to make it look like it's coming through. Generally, I feel like I kind of want to add shading in the crevices, make it kind of a gradient so it looks like the beams have been there for ages. You know, this is a little too crisp for my likings. We're going crazy, okay? The only other thing I'm not crazy about, the painted wainscoting. I think it looks fine, but it's definitely more of just a color block than it was before. That's an eventual project. Maybe I'll sand it down and stain it a darker color so you could still see the nice wood grain, but for now, it is what it is. But yeah, thanks for coming along on this little journey of lots of experiments, lots of fun. This is my favorite kind of home renovation. Fantastical and whimsy. Glad to be back in the saddle after 2 weeks off. I got some fun stuff planned. Ta-da! I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload most Fridays and we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! Wow, it's been a while. Gotta move my sword. I really look like a middle schooler. I was playing, oh my God. Toasted buns, I raise you up. A little J. Grove action for you. Do I open this? Oh, what?